2nd and 10. On the give, this is Harris. And he's going to be stopped up quickly here. Just a yard up to the 39.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much. Gun now on 3rd down. And a dangerous throw there as that's knocked down and incomplete.
Quarterbacks work all the time on manipulating a defense with their eyes and their head movement. In this case, he just scared the receiver down. That allowed for excellent coverage, able to knock that one away.
His first punt, 45 yards. This looks good as well. Watch out for Hill on the return. So a change of possession here on the punt. And the Chiefs are going to take over with a long field ahead and a 1st and 10. The KC offense out of the huddle, ready for their next drive. They are clicking on all cylinders. They seem to be just scoring at will right now, and that's why they've opened up this big lead.
You know, we always talk about getting into the zone, and all athletes are seeking that, aren't they? Where everything is working for them, every move they make works, it clicks, and they are on point right now.
Yeah, they are in that zone that you're talking about. 10 yards there to start the drive, and just enough by about the length of the football for a 1st down. They fake the give. Now Mahomes. And that is incomplete. Now the coverage a little too good there, and it's 2nd down.
My first thought is surprise, because that's one of the better tight ends around, and I've seen him pull in balls like this before. But how about a little credit to the defense forcing that incompletion?
Throwing again on 2nd and 10. Mahomes. He's going to float this one deep right side. It's caught inside the 25. And all the way in for a Kansas City touchdown. A big play there. Touchdown number 15 of the year. And the Chiefs are able to add on to their first half lead. Whoa. He just yanked that one well to the left and no good. Now he's back out there to boom this one away, maybe with some frustration after the PAT miss. Returning from his end zone is Ray McCloud. And the decision to bring it out, not a good one, as he's tackled at the 15. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. They punted last time they had it. What steps, Charles, do you think they have to take to make sure they don't do that again?
Well, let's just go to the football 101, the trade expression 101. Win 1st down. Make 5, 6, 7 yards on 1st down and make it a 2nd and 3, 2nd and manageable. Keep accumulating 1st downs that way. Keep moving the football. You don't want to get behind the sticks, because then the defense has the advantage.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. Back to throw here. Looking deep downfield. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked up by Josh Jones. Well, we heard all week that they were going to put the football in the air a lot. The problem is that is now 4 interceptions, Charles, that he has thrown in this first half. How do you treat a situation? What do you say to your quarterback right now?
Boy, that's an interesting question, because a lot of it depends on the head coach and the people making the decisions. You have to know your quarterback and know if he's mentally tough enough to have a chance to turn it around. Or is he a guy that maybe you've seen enough and it's time to go to the backup? But right now what you're rooting for is your defense to help keep you in the game, to give him an opportunity to get back on track.
But they'll run with Nwangu. And is shedding the tackle, and now some room. And they get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35.
60 yards rushing for him now as his fine rookie season continues.
Operating out of Steeler territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 36.
Now that was an excellent run. And when you see that happen, that's when you're seeing guys doing their job and then some people doing a little bit more. Offensive linemen and tight ends, they're expected to block. But the wide receivers, all they want to do is catch passes. So when they block on a big-time running play and create extra space, you've got to hit the jackpot there.
And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field.
Kyle Long back from retirement, the guilty party on that one.
Second down, McKinnon. Back-to-back one-yard runs here, so that leaves him with a 3rd down and 8.
Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys, made the play, and he couldn't even get going moving the football.
Got to get to the 26 for a first. This is 3rd down. Now here's Mahomes. And he finds his target. It's Marquise Goodwin. And they do get him down, but not before he's able to slip it inside the 5-yard line. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
I'm seeing a lot of hands on hips in that secondary, and I suspect a lot of mumbling under their breath as well because this defense has had no answer for the passing game here in the first half.
Butker's kick here is good. So a long drive gets him down inside the 5, but ultimately they settle for just the field goal.
And I have to think that if maybe they were a yard closer, that would have made their decision tougher, and I think they likely would have gone for it. But in this situation, they just decided to take the 3, and I think it was a smart move.
And the decision to bring it out, not a good one, as he's tackled at the 15.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack him here. And he'll take this up only to about his 18-yard line. They follow up the 1st down 1-yard run with a minimal gain of 2. 2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. Looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game. They'll set up to throw. Oh, had his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going.
I hate to say it, Charles, but the way that he has played in this first half, you just kind of hold your breath every time he drops back to pass.
Yeah, you might be holding your breath, but those guys on the defensive side of the ball, they've got big smiles on their faces. He's handing out picks like the people just leave the candy out at Halloween and you take what you want. They're having a blast out there playing against him today.
40 yards on the punt, 2 on the return, and out will come the offense as they take over. The Chiefs offense about set to begin this drive. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12.
Handoff here to Nwangu.
And a good swarm to the football defensively as they get him down at about the 40. After getting stuffed on 1st down, not much better there. 2-yard gain.
the give is Nwangu.
And he gets this only to the 41. Not near enough for the first. Now the defense going to use the first of their timeouts as they stop it with 28 seconds to go in the first half of play. 44 on his first punt, and this is a good kick as well. And 9 yards there on the return following a punt of 47. And control of the football switching hands with very little time remaining until the half. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And they'll take over with just 18 ticks remaining. They'll try and start this drive in the air. And he's taken down. A Chiefs sack. Frank Clark make that now 8 sacks for him on the season. So we've reached halftime here in what is quickly turning into quite a rout as we send you down to Orlando where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Final adjustments being made for the second half. Whether they'll amount to much in a game that's already pretty well decided, well, that's another question. Nevertheless, let's get you back out to Brandon and Charles.
Okay, Coach, thanks. Yeah, that's something to consider. Are we in for more one-way traffic here in the second half? It has not been a competitive game to this point.
Ready for the start of the third quarter. The Chiefs have the lead and set to receive the football. He was solid on the field goal, but not as solid on the kickoff there, and that'll put him at the 40-yard line to start this drive. Mahomes will lead the Chiefs up 1st and 10 at the 40.
Now a give running left is Nwangu.
And he gets this one to midfield before he's brought down.
81 yards for him on the ground now as he has been terrific here this afternoon.
Nwangu. And that play will go nowhere. Losing yardage back near midfield at the 49. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
And plays like that are exactly what this defense needs here early in the second half to give it a little spark. I think their halftime adjustment, what they talked about, maybe it's just a little inspirational speech. Who knows? But looks like they're ready to go.
On 2nd down, here's Nwangu.
Finds a seam inside the 40. And he's got room.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they are playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time and making it work.
Butker's kick here is good. And that will just add 3 more to a lead that's already out of hand. So put another 3 on the board. All things considered, a good opening drive to begin the third quarter.
And as a defense, the way that this game is going, you're excited to see those points go on the board. Gives them a little bit of leeway to play with when they're out on the field, but they're real excited to see their offense score. Now they get to go out there and do their part.
And able to get this across the 20, but not much further as he's dropped it to 23-yard line.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. They've got to dig down deep. I mean, they need something right now, really anything to cling on to. Oh, now Harris lost it. It's a fumble, and it's picked up by the Chiefs. And they'll have the ball set up in the red zone at the 16-yard line. He has been a workhorse for them in this game, and ball security hasn't been an issue until that point.
Yeah, and let's face it, when he's going to carry the ball that many times, he becomes more and more of a target for the defense, knowing that he's going to be the primary guy. They'll just send more and more players towards him, trying to make sure they knock the ball free.
On is the punter, Hecker, as he gets this one away. Did they keep it in? They did. They kept it in. It's down close to the goal line at the 1-yard line.
Harris starts the drive on the ground. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
I think this running game, or should I say lack of one, is making this defense look better than what they really are.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. Back to throw now in his own end zone. He sets to fire deep. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down.
What we've seen so far in this game, they are not going to allow a big shot over the top. You can have whatever you want underneath. They'll give you that, but they're not going to let you beat them deep.
Gotta be careful here, backed up this deep on 3rd down. He's going to take another shot here. And now here's another interception. Picked off by L'Jarius Sneed. And he brings it back to right around the 26-yard line. When you're on your own 1-yard line like they were, oftentimes you're thinking just run on any down, get some space there. They elect to throw it. It cost them.
You get the sense that they were banking on the element of surprise, right? Everyone expects you to run it there. Let's take a shot. Let's throw it. Try and create some space, some room. And it went awry, didn't it?
Butker's kick here is good. And they're sitting pretty now as the lead grows even further. So tack on 3 more, though it's just a rare drive where they did not find the end zone.
Yeah, you're right about that, partner. But at this point, I don't think you're too concerned about that. You just want to possess the football for a while and drain the clock. If you can get 3 out of it, that's great too.
And he'll be dropped at the 21-yard line, so bringing it out of the end zone proves not a good decision, loses him about 4 yards. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. They have been struggling. I would imagine at halftime they went through some possible changes. Well, those changes aren't working, so now where do you go?
I think that now it's much more in their head. And what I mean by that is just what you said. You've gone over the changes. I bet they were pretty clinical at the half, not too emotional. They might need to go to the emotional side because you've got to find something, some spark somewhere. And so far, just being calm hasn't exactly worked.
They need any spark at this point. And this is going to be a Steelers first down as the tackle made at the 35-yard line.
Oh, that's a very good run there by Najee Harris, who can take it inside. He can get to the perimeter. He can do it all with his build and his speed. This is a guy coming out of Alabama who did everything for the Crimson Tide. That's why Pittsburgh took him in the first round. Last in the league in rushing as a team last year were the Steelers. They're expecting Harris to kickstart their running game.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. On the draw, it's Harris. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. 53 yards rushing for him now as he's carried it 16 times. Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10. They hand this off to Harris. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. Back-to-back nice plays, 12 yards that time and a first down. Offensive line right now really freeing up the rushing lanes on this drive.
And we have to give them props. They've earned them. But these big runs that we're seeing, they don't result without everyone else being involved as well. Blocking on the perimeter has to take place downfield too.
Oh, he dropped it. And that's pretty indicative of the way this one's gone. Another throw there off the mark, and obviously he's battled all of the interceptions. Things just haven't been true to form for him. I don't know. What do you think's going on out there, CD?
That's a great question, and my suspicion is he's been coached really well to not show that he's having a problem. You know, they always tell you no matter what, you keep throwing the football with confidence. Well, we're not seeing a confident thrower right now. He's off balance, the passing game's off balance, and the defense is taking advantage.
Now back to throw. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Frank Clark in there to get him, and on the season now, that is 9 sacks for him. And on that one, the protection just broke down.
You've got to have that leverage, don't you? We always talk about low man wins in the running game for an offensive lineman versus a defensive lineman. It's essentially the same thing in pass, but...
And my goodness, another interception. Picked off by L'Jarius Sneed. And that gives him now 3 interceptions in the game.
But someone's locked into what they're trying to get done in the passing game. When was the last time we had someone get 3 in a contest?
2011, wasn't it? Kurt Coleman.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
With the Eagles.
That's right. It's then with the Eagles, and I believe it's against Washington and Rex Grossman.
That's correct. On first down, they'll run with Nwangu. And he'll work this forward for about 3 at second down.
Well, praise has to go to the guys on the offensive line because they've had a very nice, productive day running the football. How about that poor defensive line? They've been knocked around the entire game, and while they slowed them down on that run, can they continue to do so? Because they haven't had much success throughout this ball game.
First down for the Chiefs. Solid chunk of yardage, 17 on the play.
Well, as we've learned over the years, just because a guy plays left tackle doesn't mean he doesn't have run blocking abilities, and we just saw it there. Controlled the line of scrimmage, created a big gain.
That's kind of a bonus. He's there to protect that high value that you have back under center, but he creates space in the run game.
Yeah, not only can he dance, he can mash, too.
And what is going on here? Are they serious? First down, and they're in punt formation. And here's a very low-line drive, almost whiffed on it. So that'll be marked down as a 19-yard punt. And the Steelers are going to take over 1st and 10 deep in their own territory. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the ending, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get them down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
Is going to do it for this third quarter of action. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. Second and 5. It's brought in by Harris. And he's going to lose yardage here back at the 8. They'll wind up losing 3. And now it's third down. To throw. And now here is another interception. Picked off by Josh Jones. And his guys are going to take over at the 21-yard line. Well, partner, I got to tell you, I'm trying to think of something positive to say for this offense, but I'd have to be a spin doctor for that one. This has been a tough performance to watch.
And I think it's hard at this point to actually identify what's really gone wrong. I guess the catch-all is everything. Doesn't sound like real sharp analysis, but I don't have much else for you.
And the scoreboard just lopsided, and it's been ugly from the get-go. It'll go as just a 15-yard punt, and the offense will come back out deep in their own territory. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. We certainly had a sense coming in here that these guys were in for a tough one on the road. That has been how this ball game has played out. They trail big as we continue on now here in this fourth quarter. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down. On play action, they'll throw. And that'll fall incomplete. He was hit just as he let that go. And now it's third down.
At this point in the game, they've got to continue to try anything they can. They're still working at it, even though this one feels like a lost cause.
On third down, here's Harris. And he will take this up to about the 8-yard line. Just a yard on the run there. That's going to bring us to a fourth down.
When we talk about defenders, specifically linebackers, keeping their eyes in the right spot. He had that eye down the entire time.
And you know that's not easily done because they throw a lot of misdirection at you. They try and fool you and get your eyes in the wrong place. But you're right about that one. He correctly figured that one out and made a really nice play.
So possession goes over here on the punt. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. The KC offense out of the huddle, ready for their next drive. We find ourselves here in the midst of a one-sided affair. A lot of fill time down the stretch, Mr. Davis.
So we could talk about food because that is something that you and I both enjoy.
We share that.
We enjoy our time at the table. So maybe the best steakhouses in the city, but in all seriousness, the performances that we've seen this year, we've seen a bunch of great ones, and it's going to be hard to parse who's going to win the MVP.
Yeah, it really is.
Is it going to be a runner? Is it going to be a thrower? Can a defender finally win it this season? Those are the things that we could probably discuss.
And collectively, this is about as dominant of a performance as you could have hoped for on both sides of the football.
Might have to put it number one for what we've seen this season.
That catch good for only a yard, and it'll be third down. Now a give running right, Nwangu. And they'll work this down to the 40-yard line, tackled there.
159 yards rushing for him now as he has been tremendous all day long. Back to Nwangu again on first down.
And give him 6 yards here as he stopped near the 35 at the 34.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where there'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge. Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain, considering the blitz that they just had against them.
They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. Well, they hit him in the backfield, and he will not escape. And that is not going to get it done. Tough sledding. They lose a yard there on third. This late in the game, Charles, I think you maybe seriously have to think about going for it.
Especially where they are in terms of field position, because this is almost like no man's land. Might hurt your punter because there might not be enough space, maybe too far for your field goal kicker. I'm like the old rule. Possession is 9/10 of the law. Possession is 9/10 of winning the game. Go for it. Get the first down. Close it out.
The Steelers take over first and 10 at their own 13-yard line.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive.
Well, I think that the folks here had hoped that maybe this home atmosphere would carry their guys to a surprise victory, but it does not appear that that's going to be the case. Just too much to handle on the other side in this one.
A handoff to Harris to begin the drive.
And he'll wind up getting about 6 out of that, as that's going to lead us to the 2-minute warning.
It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4. So the Steelers with the football as we get you reset. 6 yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4. They stay on the ground. Again, it's Harris. And he's able to get up here to the 26. 7 yards there and a first down.
Oh, that's one to warm the hearts of all those old school football players, isn't it? Tough, hard, gritty run. Got behind his pads, bowled over a few people. Look at that one, right up the gut.
Saw it through 3 quarters. No reason to lighten up now. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. Yikes, a 4-yard loss really sets him back now for 2nd down. They'll run with Harris. And he got blown up on that play. Back at the 20. It'll be a loss of a full 3 yards there, and it also brings up 3rd down.
I think this offense, specifically this running game, they're going to have to find a way to turn the page because they haven't found a way to run it effectively thus far, and it's cost them.
really in a hole here, 3rd and 17 following the 2 negative plays. They'll look to throw here. And the Chiefs are going to get him. Frank Clark has now recorded 10 sacks on the season.
And you could say that is just another cherry on top for this defense and that entire team. But really, this defense has sparked what's been an impressive effort here in this one.
And notice you used the word sparked, because you're not seeing that on the other side of the ball, are you? The offense right now, the spark has left their game, and it's been because of what you described, that defensive pressure.
And no move to get the offense off the field. Despite failing once, they're going to go again here on 4th down. Got to try it here. He's back to throw. He's going to let it fly. And my goodness, another interception. Picked off by L'Jarius Sneed. Yet another mistake after the interception there. And gosh, you look up at the scoreboard, they just got to be thinking this one cannot get over fast enough.
It certainly can't. And also what happens when you get this big of a deficit, you're supposed to make all the right throws, right? You're supposed to try and obviously get the ball to your own guys. But being down this big, you also take even more chances. And in this situation, that hasn't paid off for them at all.
On the other sideline, jubilation and laughter. And they will take a knee here. So this one in the win column for Kansas City. And I tell you what, Charles, this might be about as good as it gets. They were incredible.
Yeah, offense was in fine form. The defense threw the shutout at them. I think they worked in concert together. What I like about the offense was they held the ball pretty well. You know, time of possession, exactly what they were looking for in this one. And that helped out their defense. Didn't have to be out there the entire time. So when you do that and you're out there fresh playing, off a little extra spring in your step, and it showed up in this one.
They had a ton of spring in their step. Impressive victory. So for Kansas City, it's another win for them, and you wonder if they want a redo on that one loss as they sit now at 14-1. And they will hit the road next week to take on the Cincinnati Bengals. Meanwhile, for the Steelers, the slide continues as